The beautiful white black Africans. Have you ever seen someone with snow-white skin and hair, but who comes from Africa? Today we're going to learn about a very special group of people called albinos who live in Tanzania. They look different on the outside, but they're just like you and me on the inside. Hey there, friends. Welcome to our channel. Today we're going on an amazing journey to East Africa. We're going to meet some incredible people who might surprise you with how they look. Are you ready for an adventure? Let's go. What is albinism? Let's start with a big word, albinism. It might sound complicated, but it's pretty simple to understand. Albinism is something that some people are born with that makes their skin, hair, and eyes very, very light. Imagine if you had a coloring book. Most people's bodies are like pages that have been colored in different shades of brown, tan, or pink. But people with albinism are like pages that haven't been colored in yet. Their skin is super light, almost white. This happens because of something called melanin. Melanin is like the crayon that colors our skin, hair, and eyes. People with albinism don't have much melanin in their bodies. That's why they look so light. But here's the cool part. Even though their skin is light, many people with albinism in Tanzania are 100% African. Isn't that amazing? It just goes to show that we shouldn't judge people by how they look on the outside. People can surprise us in wonderful ways. Tanzania, home to many albinos. Now, let's talk about Tanzania. It's a beautiful country in East Africa, known for its wild animals like lions and elephants, and its tall mountain called Kilimanjaro. But Tanzania is special for another reason too. It has more people with albinism than any other country in Africa. In most parts of the world, albinism is pretty rare. Only about 1 in 17,000 people have it. That means if you fill a big stadium with people, you might only find 1 or 2 people with albinism. But in Tanzania, it's much more common. About 1 in every 1,400 people there has albinism. That's a lot more. If you filled a school with kids from Tanzania, you'd probably find at least 1 student with albinism in every grade. Why is it more common in Tanzania? Well, it's because of something called genes. Genes are like tiny instruction books in our bodies that tell us what we'll look like. In Tanzania, more people carry the gene for albinism, even if they don't have it themselves. It's kind of like how some families might have lots of people with curly hair, while in other families straight hair is more common. In Tanzania, the albinism gene is just more common in the family tree of many people there. Life with albinism. Living with albinism isn't always easy. People with albinism have to be extra careful in the sun because their skin can burn easily. Imagine if your skin was so sensitive that just a few minutes in the sun could give you a bad sunburn. That's how it is for people with albinism. They also often have trouble seeing well. Imagine if the sun was always too bright for your eyes, even on a cloudy day. That's how it feels for many people with albinism. They might need special glasses or have to squint a lot to see better. Because their eyes are so sensitive to light, many people with albinism have trouble seeing things far away. They might need to sit close to the front of the classroom to see the board or hold books very close to their faces when they read. But these challenges don't stop people with albinism from being awesome. Many of them go to school, have jobs, and do all the things that anyone else does. They just might need a little extra help sometimes. For example, a student with albinism might use special magnifying glasses to help them read small print. Or they might wear a big hat and long sleeves when they go outside to protect their skin from the sun. Some people with albinism become good at using their other senses, like hearing and touch, to make up for their vision challenges. They might be extra good at recognizing people by their voices or remembering directions by feeling the path under their feet. Challenges faced by albinos. Sadly, People with albinism in Tanzania face some big problems. Some people there don't understand albinism and think it's something scary or bad. This is called stigma, and it's a form of bullying. Sometimes people call albinos mean names or treat them unfairly. They might be called Zeru Zeru, which means ghost in Swahili, or Mzungu, which usually means white person or foreigner. These names can make albinos feel like they don't belong, even though Tanzania is their home. This unfair treatment can make it hard for people with albinism to make friends, go to school, or get jobs. Some kids with albinism might be afraid to go to school because they're worried about being teased. Some grown-ups with albinism might have trouble finding work because people don't want to hire them. Even worse, some bad people believe in silly stories that albino body parts can bring good luck or make magic potions. This has led to some albinos being hurt or even killed. It's a very serious problem that the government and many good people are working hard to stop. These dangers mean that some people with albinism are afraid to go out alone or at night. Some families with albino children keep them at home to protect them, which means these kids might miss out on school and play with friends. It's important to remember that these superstitions are not true at all. People with albinism are just people, like anyone else. Their body parts don't have any magical powers. It's just a harmful myth that hurts innocent people. Health concerns for albinos. People with albinism need to take extra good care of their health. Remember how we said their skin is very sensitive to the sun? Well, this means they can get skin cancer more easily if they don't protect themselves. In East Africa, many people with albinism don't live as long as other people. On average, they only live to be about 30 years old. That's way too young. But the good news is that with proper care and protection, people with albinism can live much longer, healthier lives. Positive changes and hope. Now don't be sad. There's a lot of good news too. Many people in Tanzania and around the world are working hard to help people with albinism. They're teaching others about albinism so that people understand it better. There are special schools and programs to help albino children learn and grow. These schools might have teachers who know how to help students with vision problems, or they might provide sunscreen and protective clothing to their students. Some companies are making special sunscreens and glasses just for people with albinism. These products are sometimes given out for free to people who need them but can't afford to buy them. Best of all, more and more people with albinism are speaking up and showing the world how amazing they are. They're becoming teachers, lawyers, and even models. They're proving that being different can be beautiful and powerful. For example, in some parts of Tanzania, there are now albino support groups. These are places where people with albinism can meet each other, share their experiences, and help each other out. It's like having a big family of people who understand exactly what you're going through. There are also more programs to educate communities about albinism. These programs teach people that albinism is just a medical condition, not a curse or anything magical. When people understand this, they're less likely to believe in harmful myths or treat albinos unfairly. Famous albinos. Did you know that there are some famous people with albinism? Let's meet a few of them. 1. Salem Khalfani Barwani. He was the first albino member of parliament in Tanzania. That means he helps make laws to protect all Tanzanians, including those with albinism. He's shown that people with albinism can be strong leaders. 2. Isaac Mwara. He's a senator in Kenya, that's the country next to Tanzania. He works hard to fight for the rights of people with albinism. He's helped pass laws to protect albinos and make sure they have access to things like sunscreen and education. 3. Tando Hopa. She's a lawyer and model from South Africa. She shows the world that albino people can be beautiful and smart. She's been on the cover of fashion magazines and speaks out about albinism rights. 4. Connie Chiu. She's a fashion model from Hong Kong who has albinism. She's walked on runways all over the world and shown that albino people can be glamorous and successful in the fashion world. 5. Sia Sana. She's a lawyer in the United States who has albinism. She works to help people who have been treated unfairly by the justice system. She shows that people with albinism can succeed in any career they choose. These people are like superheroes. They're showing the world that people with albinism can do anything they set their minds to. Helping albinos. What's being done? Lots of good people are working hard to help albinos in Tanzania and other parts of Africa. Here are some of the things they're doing. 1. Education. They're teaching people about albinism so that everyone understands it better. This helps stop bullying and discrimination. They go to schools and community centers and even use radio and TV to spread correct information about albinism. 2. Healthcare. They're providing special sunscreen and eye care to help keep albinos healthy. Some organizations give out free sunscreen, hats, and sunglasses to people with albinism who need them. 3. Legal protection. They're working with the government to make laws that protect albinos and punish anyone who tries to hurt them. In Tanzania, there are now special police units to investigate crimes against people with albinism. 4. Job training. They're helping albinos learn skills so they can get good jobs and take care of themselves. Some programs teach skills like sewing, computer work, or farming that can be done indoors or in the shade. 5. Support groups. They're creating places where albinos can meet each other, make friends, and share their experiences. These groups can be a safe place for people with albinism to talk about their challenges and celebrate their successes. 6. Safe houses. In some areas, there are specially protected homes where people with albinism can live safely. While it's sad that these are needed, they help keep people safe while society is still learning to accept albinism. 7. Research. Scientists are working on better treatments for the vision problems that come with albinism. They're also trying to find ways to help protect albino skin from sun damage more effectively. All of these things are making life better for people with albinism, but there's still more work to be done. Albinism around the world. Albinism isn't just found in Tanzania. It happens all over the world, but it's more common in some places than others. In North America and Europe, about 1 in every 20,000 people has albinism. In parts of Africa, it can be as common as 1 in 1,000 people. Albinism can affect people of all races and ethnicities. There are albinos in Asia, Europe, America, and everywhere else. It just might be harder to notice in places where most people have lighter skin. In some countries, like the United States or parts of Europe, people with albinism might face fewer challenges than in Tanzania. They still need to be careful about sun protection and might need help with their vision, but they usually don't face the same dangers or superstitions that albinos in some parts of Africa do. In other parts of the world, like parts of Asia or South America, people with albinism might face different challenges. They might be seen as very unusual or even considered lucky in some cultures. No matter where they live, though, people with albinism are just people. They have the same feelings, dreams, and rights as everyone else. The future for albinos in Tanzania. The future is looking brighter for people with albinism in Tanzania. More and more people are learning about albinism and understanding that it's just a difference in appearance, not something to be afraid of. Albino people are going to school, getting jobs, and even becoming leaders in their communities. They're showing the world that they can do anything anyone else can do. As time goes on, we hope to see even more positive changes. Maybe one day, having albinism will be seen as just another way of being human, no different from having brown eyes or curly hair. So there you have it, friends. We've learned all about the beautiful white-black Africans of Tanzania. We've seen that even though they look different on the outside, they're just like everyone else on the inside. Remember, what makes a person special isn't the color of their skin or their hair. It's who they are as a person, their kindness, their bravery, their dreams and hopes. The next time you see someone who looks different from you, remember the story of the albinos in Tanzania. Remember that everyone has a story, and everyone deserves to be treated with kindness and respect. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey. If you enjoyed learning about albinism in Tanzania, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We have lots more exciting stories to share with you. And hey, why not share this video with your friends and family? The more people who learn about albinism, the better life will be for people with albinism everywhere. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep being awesome.